Whew. How's everybody doing tonight? Uh, Running a little bit late, but not too bad. Not like we normally would be. Um, got a lot of new things running tonight. We're streaming to two different platforms tonight, and I was learning how to do that. We're actually live on Twitter tonight, YouTube, and Facebook for the first time. So we should be able to. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, I got people. Whatever. But Janice knows what's going on. She'll fill you in. Let everybody know, yes, I do know Janice. Janice, I'm giving you the shout out right now while you're eating your tomato sandwich with your extra pepper and salt. That I have not got her tied up anywhere in the basement or anywhere. I'm going to chop her up and eat her. But she wanted me to let her know. And also, she's a big help, too. She helps me do a lot of my investigations and behind the scenes. She's one of the people that helped me do a lot of work at finding material and being able to have material. The research is crazy whenever you really get into it on this. Kristi should be joining us here in a little bit. She'll be co-hosting with me. She has some things going on, and she'll be here just as soon as she can, and we'll get her thrown in here. We're going to talk about a lot of different things tonight. Yeah, she'll be here just as soon as she can. We got Kaylee in the background, my biggest critic. She's sitting on the couch, munching her candy bar or something, and pizza rolls. But the first thing I want to ask for tonight is prayers for Kurt. He had a procedure done today. He's in a lot of pain, and not for sure how long he's going to be out. But I had contact with him today. He's not able really to talk. I did converse with him a little bit by text, and just ask for prayers for him for fast healing and no pain. Another thing I was going to talk to y'all about tonight too is got a boots on the ground coming up. Hopefully probably next month. Hopefully going to be getting some night vision camera. That way I can get y'all some better quality videos out there. We can actually see what eats Kaylee instead of her running. A lot of y'all watched our last Halloween video. I didn't expect a lot of y'all to be watching that. I got a lot of comments on it, and I think one of Janice's favorite parts of the video, she said, was where you can't see nothing and Kaylee screams and you see her right in front of the camera. But that was one of Janice's favorite ones. And let's see. Got a new logo we're using tonight. A lot of people said that I'd come up with the moon phases, and it was kind of my idea. So I incorporated that into the logo. There was some other people trying to use my theories on that. So we ended up doing a new logo. And that's pretty much all I've got for the start tonight. We are on Twitter now. We got Patreon now. It's all in the bar running at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Kristi in. I'm sure she can't wait to get in here, I'm sure.
I'm sorry I'm late. I literally have an embarrassing thing to say. I think I just burnt 2 pizzas for the kids.
It's okay. Just tell them extra ranch.
I'm sorry, everyone. But you're here, not me, so it doesn't really matter. But I was literally trying to rush around my kitchen trying to get on here.
Oh, well, just tell them to have extra ranch on it. They'll never know.
They'll never know. It'll be fine. Just put some Italian seasoning on there. Shake it on. It'll be all right. A little Parmesan. It'll be all right.
That's right. How are you tonight?
No, I'm doing good. Yeah, how's everybody else? Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready now. I'm ready now that my house is not burning down. So I'm okay. I'm okay.
Good. I told them we was going to talk about some of our favorite encounters, some of our favorite outings, and just kind of some personal experiences tonight. I've asked everybody already, prayers for Kurt. We talked about the new logo a little bit, and then of course I gave Janice a shout out. I don't have her tied up anywhere, and we haven't stole her tomato sandwich or anything. So I wanted to thank her.
This is here immediately. Yes.
Yes. The first thing I was going to bring up, have you noticed what they're talking about going on in Peru? Have you seen that?
Actually, no. So go ahead and tell me.
I thought it was pretty interesting. They're saying now on the news now, Peru is getting attacked by what they think is aliens.
Oh, I'm sure. They've got a UAP thing out for them too. I'm sure.
I think it's pretty interesting how hard everybody's starting to push the aliens. It's starting to happen worldwide now all of a sudden.
Narrative. Yeah. Yep.
They have the leader of the tribe down there saying that one of them was over 7 foot tall. He was wearing body armor, and they shot him with the .308 caliber rifle and didn't hurt him and all that. But then, the guy that's doing the UAP thing, I was reading a little bit about that, and he said something I thought was really, really off. He said, "I'm a whistleblower, and everything that I'm saying has been approved by the people that he's whistleblowing." I thought whistleblowers weren't approved by the people they was outing.
Nope. Or not typically. Not that
kind
of
sounds like a plant.
Better. Like, no, I don't. That's not normal. Yeah.
I thought it was maybe kind of like a plant,
I mean, all of this, I told you, and I know this is not popular, but it's, for me, everything that I see that's going on now, we said, no, doesn't exist. And now I say, yes. But for me, that's the part of the Great Deception. So, just because I believe in revelations. So, I mean, but I don't push that on other people. So if other people think, differently, it's fine. Like, but
right.
That's my thought process.
I agree. I think we're in the, personally, I agree. I think we're in the last days, and I think that they're trying really hard, to get this agenda pushed really hard right now. It seems like they're, I don't know, it's like at all costs we have to have people now believing that we have aliens, and then the people that's coming out saying it, they're like, well, the people that were whistleblowing on, they said that I could say this. It's okay. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know either. I'm
I
sure
thought it was.
I'm not for talking great
I,
deception, but I do believe that um, Project Blue Book, like all these things, it's all going to work together for the great deception. So,
and even the
and
drones.
hopefully, oh my goodness, go ahead. No.
You know, I mean, look what they can do with drones now. The pictures they can make in the sky, and
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, it's a concerning time to be in for us. So
yeah, and like what Lisa says, she says it's all a distraction. I think it is. I think it's a distraction and it's a deception.
I do
I
too,
think that's
Lisa.
that's a lot of it.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
It's almost scary anymore what they'll push on you. This is all she looked scary. Asked the mother. They attacked her daughter, but the villagers were able to save her from their slimy fingers. MRL, and it also makes me wonder. Also, is it really aliens or is it actors? Because I mean, if you have to push an agenda, then you're going to. What extent will they go to? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Does that make
Yeah,
sense to you? I think that they don't have really a line in the sand. I think they have a narrative that they're willing to get out no matter what.
yeah, I definitely think it's yeah. There's a narrative.
And a little bit about you,
Oh,
so everybody
yeah, you're
knows.
right.
Uh,
Back in the day. Sorry, I just read that
oh
and I
yeah,
was like, yeah, you're right.
I agree.
Back in the
And you're going to be the co-host, so everybody knows a little bit more about you. It's not being in front of the camera is new to you, but the field
yes,
and the research is not new to you, right?
no, real field research is not new to me. Being in front of the camera is, especially when I have burning pizzas and like the boys have friends over and I'm crazy and I show up here late. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, no, being in front of the camera, like that kind of part is, you can research stuff all day for someone on your own time and you can be in a ponytail and a hoodie and everything's fine. And then it's a lot of stress when you're sitting here in front of people having a conversation.
Right.
uh,
And what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing to research?
you don't like this part. Are you sure I can say it?
Sure.
I love to research hauntings. And so I know that, like, and I know, yes, I believe like it's demonic, all this kind of stuff, but I like to research that. So that's what I like to research. So nobody
And
judge me.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit too, because you know they they're coming up with this new thing that they think that 25% of people that have a cryptid encounter are having a paranormal encounter, and a lot of them are believing that the Nephilim blood connected to the
Yeah,
flesh and blood.
they're having poltergeist activity with it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. 100%.
So my theory is maybe the 25% that are doing it. There's a possibility that maybe the bloodline and the flesh and the blood, they're attracting the disembodied, which is the orbs that people are seeing.
Yeah. No, I think that's super possible. There has to be something tied into it, right? Because I mean, we have all these encounters and sorry, I'm spiraling right now. You probably just were asking me that like rhetorically, and I'm answering. I'll stop. Look, I'm done.
No, no, no. Honestly, I mean, no, I mean, I think that you're going to know more probably about that field than I am. You have more knowledge in that field. You've researched it more than I have, to where
Well,
I have.
only grew up in it. It's only because I grew up in that house that we talked about. But yeah,
Right. And it's you went through like a scary time too in that house. Yours was a different kind of maybe a different kind, to where mine was cryptid, yours was more maybe supernatural, but there was still that fear.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that gut feel where you're just like
Right.
you hear it and you want to think it's somebody, but it's not. It's not a body. It's not a person. And then you realize it. I don't know if anybody else has ever felt that like feeling in the pit of your stomach, but when you realize that, oh, there's nobody in this room but me, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing. And I actually like have that right now at this house, just so everybody knows. Not that I usually share that. Now I'm sharing it with tons of people. I guess it doesn't
Right.
really matter my address, but it's fine. But I have that now, and I'll tell you later if you have time um, for that story, because it's actually it's pretty incredible. So
You know, well, me and you talked, and I told you that one of the things that it does scare me is that side, that paranormal side that because whenever when I was younger, my thought was whenever I seen something, it was a
yeah,
ghost. It was a ghost. It was always a ghost. And
I
then
thought this. I did too. Yeah.
you grow older and you start reading the Bible more and you start
Mhm.
understanding better, and then you're like, oh my God, that wasn't ghosts. That
That
was
was not. Yeah.
that was demons. And it I don't know. There was times in the old house that we used to live in, the old brick house we lived in. I wanted to run out of there. I don't know what it was about that house. I could go in and get something, but whenever I would go to leave, I just had that feeling where I just wanted to run.
Yep. I felt like that. I bet a lot of our listeners have. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's a crazy feeling. And and I agree right here with what Wildman says. We all need to do our own research, and I think that's important.
Me
You
too.
know, I'm not going to tell people to go do it. I don't want nobody to go out and get hurt or anything. Trying to do it. If you're going to do it, at least know where you're going. Have somebody with you. Have a plan. Let people know when you're expected back, where you're going to
Yeah.
be. Stuff that I don't do, but if you're going to do it, that's probably the right way to do it.
Oh, those are things that we all yell at you about. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I get in trouble. Uh, I guess I could tell everybody what happened the other night. I went out, try to find some things, and really didn't find anything. Just a guy on a moped with a dog. He may or may not have been feral. I was hiding in the bushes, and I was bored, and it was nighttime, and I may or may not have made some bird calls at him, and kind of headed back home. But didn't really find what I'm looking for. I'm going to another place, though. It's going to be a little deeper. I will have to drive into this place and then walk. Uh, Janice, I know, is not a fan of me going to this place, but you got to go. You got to go where the action's at. Um, you were actually affiliated with the channel, correct? Before you was here, before you came over to this one.
I wouldn't say affiliated. Like they became good friends of mine after submitting some writings and things like that. But I don't want to compliment myself enough to say I was affiliated. So yeah.
Right. But I mean, me and you've talked, and you have a lot of knowledge, and the people over here on this channel are very polite people, and I think you have a lot to offer. I hated getting in front of the camera when I first done it. God, I hated doing it. So
Hate it right now, Paul. I literally hate it.
I know it makes you nervous, and I hated it for a while. But after a while, you actually get to you just get to like what, I'm just going to sit here and talk and run my mouth and whatever. But
No, I just it's like it's really uncomfortable where it's really uncomfortable to be sitting here right now. And that's why I'm probably nervously playing with my hair. I'll stop. But it's like, oh no. It's it's really nerve wracking. So to be on
right,
this side. It's easy to submit writings and things like that, but
right, yeah,
a lot
and
different. It's a lot
it, it'll
different to
it'll
speak.
change as you go.
I
It'll change because you'll have a message that you want to get out, and that's kind of the way I look at it. I just try to share encounters and I've learned a lot off here. We have a lot of smart people that's on our channel that come in and hang out with us and everything. So I guess we're going to start with you first.
No,
One of the
not
topics tonight is,
no,
what was
not me.
one of your scariest encounters?
Well, all I think I already accidentally shared that like last week, but I can reshare it.
Or tell us about your house. What's going on in your house now?
It or this house. Oh,
Yeah.
so okay, everyone, this is crazy. So we were um buying our first house together, which is this house, and got 3 kids, right? So we're looking at the house and doing all this stuff. And when we were going into closing for the mortgage, it's unusual, but the prior owners were here for that. Like that was just super weird, right? And sitting there talking to them, super nice people. And the way we got this house was super lucky. Because during COVID, everybody's like outbidding each other, it's bidding more, it's like all this kind of stuff. And they were like, oh, a family. They're like, oh, well, we have 3 kids. You have 3 kids. They're like, we'd like you to have it, even though other people were going to be able to pay more and stuff like that. And so we were just like, that's interesting. So we show up, and the guy during the house closing, the male, that the husband was like, yeah, that room back there is where my wife does all of her voodoo shit. And he called it voodoo shit. So sorry, I'm just paraphrasing what he said. So it turns out she's a spiritualist, and she had an office right over there, like in that back room. But she was a spiritualist, and she's a nice lady, but I don't know what she's let in here. And now my entire family, even if I'm the only person home, because I work from home unless I'm traveling, right? So I travel probably like 3 weeks a month, a week a month I'm here, and you would swear to God somebody's in these other rooms, slamming doors, shutting cabinets. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. Everybody's heard it. The whole family, even my husband who doesn't believe in that kind of stuff.
Right.
So that's my current situation. Apparently there was a spiritualist in here who used to see people in the back room in her office to flush things out, and I feel like those things got flushed out, but they got kept here. Um, and so that all sounds probably really crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now.
No,
Mike, now you.
no, you're no. It's actually really interesting to me because, see, when I was growing up as a kid, I was you know, we lived in that house, and I was younger, and I tried to tell my mom and them, I was like, there's something in my room. And they were like, no, 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 there's nothing in your room. And they thought I just wanted my sister's room. And I was being
Mm-hmm.
serious. I was like, no, there's really something in there at night. And,
Oh,
and that now,
really?
having, oh, yeah. Yeah. And having kids, now on my own, I've learned, I'm not going to do to them what they done to me and not believe them. If they tell me, Dad, there's something in there, then, you know, I would probably bring him in there with me and say, okay, lay with me. I spoil mine.
Yeah,
You've heard my kid on
yeah,
the phone. Yeah, I spoil him bad. Uh,
yeah.
Probably one of my scariest times, and I'd like to thank Catherine for becoming a member tonight. Thank you very much, Catherine
Oh,
Wesley.
Catherine, that's great. I
Uh,
didn't scare
one,
her off. Mike didn't scare her off. It's fine.
one of my scariest time. Hey, there's Vanita. That's close to me, Vanita, Oklahoma. Good to have you, Bobby. Uh, my scariest encounter isn't probably what people would think or why people would think. My scariest encounter was actually not even looking for cryptids, and that's probably whenever I've had probably my most encounters. I took my son and my nephew down to the lake, and I was actually videoing for my other channel, my outdoor channel. And we
Mm-hmm.
were looking for a place to fish and a place we like to go down there and pick up shells. And I've
Yeah.
actually thought about the people on the Patreon and the members. maybe doing like a giveaway with a shell signed or something. But we were down there and just looking for shells and stuff. And the next thing I know, my little nephew, he's like, Mike, look, And I look over, and of course, there's coyotes run out. And the lake was really far down, it was in a drought. And I was like, oh, it's coyotes. They're not going to bother us. They're more afraid of us than we are of them.
Yeah.
And we're like heading on our way back. And my son and my nephew both are like, Mike, look. And I can tell in their voice something's wrong. And I look, these coyotes are now bipedal. One of them has climbed up the tree and is shaking the tree at us. And I'm like, come on, let's get to the truck. The truck is about 500 yards away from us. We're in the open part where the lake, has dried up. And they're over in like the tree line. So we're moving toward the truck. They're paralleling us down the tree line, bipedal. And my boys are like, they're not understanding what they're seeing. They're like, Dad, they're walking on their hind legs. And I'm like, it's okay, come on. And I have a video where this happened. I'll send you the link where you can watch it. And we get to the truck, and it's like once we get to the truck and we start getting in, they drop down to like coyotes and run off into the woods.
Oh my goodness gracious. No.
And you know what makes it the scariest for me isn't necessarily that we saw them do that. It was that at the time, all I had on me was my sidearm, and which a lot of people know if you have a sidearm, you're limited in the range that you're able to defend yourself at. And having the two boys with me, they was my worry. And I was like, do I have enough ammo on me? Do I have the right weapon on me? What am I going to do if they charge? Because on four legs, they may charge me on all four legs, and then how fast would that charge be? And and how many rounds is it going to take per creature to, you just start assessing. That's the way I'm trained. You just assess things.
Yeah,
and
no, I get it. You're assessing risk. Yeah.
Yeah, we got in the truck and we got out of there, and and it was a crazy night. It was, I don't know, it just I was blessed.
No, you're like super blessed that you got out of that. Do you have time, or we can talk about it later, but I have a haunted work story if you ever want to hear it, and that's pretty creepy and horrible.
Oh yeah, go. That's what I was going to ask you. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I worked in a haunted manufacturing plant that I didn't know it was haunted. So it was I was working in a manufacturing environment, which I still do today, 9 to 5 every day. But this place used to be an old grocery store. And it got turned into manufacturing. It's here in Orlando. I'm not going to say the names or anything like that. But so was working in there and ended up becoming friends with one of the HR ladies. And we would talk and stuff like that and have coffee together. And she ended up knowing I was interested in paranormal things. And so she told me a story that happened because she had been there for like 15 years, right? So there's a night shift there. It's a 24/7 facility. So you got 3 shifts. You got a night shift. And the person that had been talking with her had come in and told her, like, hey, this guy is like really rude to me. He never mentions it. He didn't say hi, like I'm out, and she's in HR. So he goes to her and says, like, I don't know how to work with this guy, basically. And she's like, well, what's going on? And he's like, well, he won't speak to me. I see him every day. Never even says hi. He was like, I'm just trying to, I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. And she's like, okay. And then like the next day they're in the manufacturing line because he works on the line, and you can see out, and there's like a big, picture glass. And he looks, I guess he told her, he looks out, the guy's standing out there looking at him. And he's, he just kind of waves, and the guy doesn't acknowledge him. He walks outside, the guy's sitting on the bench. And he's this employee is just like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? And he goes back to HR and he's like, hey, I don't know why this guy is like in my business, like why he's looking at me, and like he won't speak. And so he starts saying, and then HR lady's like, so what's this guy look like? Like, what's his name? And the employee says, like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. He won't speak to me. I don't know. And she's like, what's he look like? And he describes him. And he's a very, I guess, specific description, right? Like, you don't always have like people with blonde curls and like stuff like that, like big hair. And she starts putting stuff together, and she shows a group picture from the previous year from work. Like, we had a work picnic. And she says, do you see him on here? And he says, yeah, it's that guy. And she said, that guy killed himself.
Oh, wow.
So, sorry, I know it's a long story, but I just found it really creepy and scary when that happened. But yeah, she said that the HR lady said that guy killed himself. So he wasn't alive. That's why he wasn't acknowledging.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That's coming up to a story I'm actually going to share tonight. That's a lot like it's
really?
Yeah. Your story is.
And everybody's gonna make fun of me now for telling that, but that was scary.
No, that's like it's really going to be close to a story. Look, I mean, it's going to be. You're going to be amazed how close it's going to be to what happened at our house. Yeah. 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 I can't. You'll see when we get there.
Sorry to rabbit hole and like get off the trail.
Oh, that's kind of what tonight is. We're not really following a main. Well, I guess while we're talking about that, I'll go ahead and tell people a little bit. I can't share the name of what we're working on, but Janice and the team, we're working on. Kristi's helping. Everybody's helping. We're working on another big case. We did the Girl Scout case here a while back, and I've stuck my nose in another big case. This case is, I'm not sure where it's going to go. It's going to be a little bit kind of like the Girl Scout case. There was some people that lost their life in this case. It's under extreme, I would say, abnormal circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I can say. I don't want to give it out and somebody else grab onto it. But yeah, I think y'all are really going to enjoy it. I want to maybe we could drop some teasers in the Patreon. Maybe we could do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The new logo. To touch a little bit more on that, I see some people was asking about it. A lot of people said that I came up, with the moon idea, and the moon idea that I came up with was, I believe, based on the investigations that I've done and that I've researched, a lot of the attacks that cause death were not on a full moon night. They're on either a waning or a gibbous night. My belief is they have bars in their eyes that allow them to see better in low light. And in low light, if they can see better than us, we know their smelling's better. We know that their hearing's better. It's just another advantage. On a full moon night, however, us being regular people, we do have good vision on a full moon night, especially where I live. I can see the fields. I can see the cows. So really, they lose that advantage. But in the waning and in the waxing, their advantage is huge. And that's when most of your attacks happen. Well, my friend Steve that I told you about, you've heard me talk about Steve, he sent me a picture of the planets or the moon, in the phases. So I asked my sister Sarah if she would help me incorporate that into a logo, and what you're looking at is actually her work. So thank you, Sarah, for that.
Oh, that's so cool, sister. Good job.
Yeah, she does. She's got a little bit of talent.
Artistic, creative. So
I tease her a little bit.
Now?
She's good to have around sometimes. No.
Well,
she's good.
Ron, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought she done a really good job.
Yeah.
I guess, another scary encounter I had was, and this one's weird. I'm still not real sure what happened, but when I was younger, we snuck away, me and my cousins, and
Mhm.
we found an old building back behind my granny's in the woods. And, it's one of those dare things. I dare you to go look in it.
Yeah.
Well, I went and looked in it, and when I opened the door, there was like toys in there. There was little trinkets in there. There was tools in there, just like odds and ends. But over in the corner was a big hay, like a nest. And I was like, somebody staying here or something staying here? But
Oh,
you could smell urine real
that's
strong.
that's creepy.
Oh, we started to leave. And okay, I'm not thinking monster, right? I'm thinking people. It's what we thought. We were coming out and we see a man, we thought it was a man, walking at us. And do you know what persimmon trees are?
Of course I do.
Okay, we had a whole bunch of those. They was walking through the persimmon trees up toward the building we were at. But they were
Uh-huh.
wearing what we thought were ghillie suits, right? Okay, now that I'm older, I got a pretty good idea what it was.
Oh my
So we
goodness.
took
That's
off running.
creepy. Oh my good. But you're right. As a child, like as a kid, you don't
Right.
associate that. Oh my gosh.
Three of them start chasing us. So we're running through the woods, and the bad thing is, they're between us and Granny's. So we're running further into the woods.
Ooh.
They're following us. Well, the bad thing is, I'm the oldest. I'm like, at the time, probably 13, 14. My other cousin is like a year younger. And then we have my other cousin with us. He's like 8. Well, we're running. We're lost. We have no idea where we're at. We've now become lost. We can hear these things following us. My little
Um.
cousin, my little cousin starts having an anxiety attack or asthma
Well,
attack.
I.
He had real bad asthma.
I'd be scared too.
He could not breathe.
I
But
no, I feel his pain. Yeah.
so I'm so I'm trying to carry him
Oh no.
up and down hills through and it's hard to do. We're just kids.
Yeah,
So
of course.
finally we're like, we're gonna fight these things. We can't run no more. We're wore out. So we
Oh
get
my.
to the top of this ridge, and there's like a valley and a ridge on the other side. And I grab a big old like piece of a tree that fell. My other cousin, he grabbed like a stick, and we lay my youngest cousin in the grass because he's having an asthma attack. He can't breathe, and we are hiding in the grass. It's summertime, and we look across the ridge, and we can see them walking the ridge line. And we're thinking, God, they're going to get us. They're going to get us.
Like
So we're
the
laying there.
well beings were walking the ridgeline.
Yeah, and they looked like they were in ghillie suits because stuff was hanging off of them, kind of swinging when they were walking.
They
And
they were they were
we're
walking you that ridge, being on the high ground.
yeah,
Okay. Oh my
and the
gosh.
only thing I think that honestly saved us was the wind was in our favor, and they weren't able to smell us. And we ended up making it back to the highway. We followed the telephone lines back to the highway, and a lady that lived in the town that knew my mom, she stopped and she's like, "What are you guys doing on the highway?" Because we live in a really small town where everybody knows each other. She
Yep.
said, "Get in the back of the truck. I'm taking you home." And that's probably what saved us. And now that I'm older,
That's
that was
probably the
probably Sasquatch.
that is frightening.
It
And
was
the fact,
scary.
I think the thing that, I mean, all of it's scary, but the fact that were, that it was up on that ridge line, obviously trying to get a heads up, right? A look at you, watching you, stalking
And
you, having a plan like that. mm, That's really scary. Like, mm-mm.
and the way they walked like they were stiff, kind of like a stiff, kind of a lumbering walk, and just
Yeah,
picture like stuff hanging off of them. just swinging in the air. We thought it was ghillie suits.
Yeah, that's actually that's an excellent story. That's really frightening. I mean,
Oh, it
that
was.
creeps me out. Like, listen, after this call, when I have to take my dog out, I'm gonna make somebody else go. I'm like, I will not go outside.
And
I've
thank
already
you
got
very much. And thank you very much, Frank, for the super chat. We appreciate that very much. Uh, you know, I have another one, and the house I told you that I was afraid in, this brick house, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Frank, yeah, email it to me, Frank, and I'll be glad to look at it. And if you have any good stories, we'll get them on the show for sure. Or if you don't want it on the show, I just enjoy reading them. Yeah, send me everything that y'all have.
I'd like to
I
read
was
them
staying
too.
down there.
How to,
Yeah, I can.
but
I'll forward it. I'll forward it all
well,
to you.
as long as the people sharing are okay with it. I don't want to, I don't want to impose, but I'd like to read them.
Yep. I can send it to you. They won't care as long as they'll just let us know in the letter if they want it out or not. We have a lot of people that they share a lot of things. I would love to be able to share, but a lot of people are like, no, they'll think I'm crazy, and I'm like, hey,
I
I'll,
I
you know,
understand that. I hope one day people do get like, hey, everybody, it's okay. Like, because I was like that, and I'm like that still now a little bit. So, but I hope that you'll see me, and I'm floundering and oversharing lots of crazy stories. So maybe you will too, eventually.
right. um, probably. I don't know what this was. I'll let you tell me what you think. I'll let everybody give me your opinions because I don't know what happened this night.
Can we have a survey? I like
Yeah, we'll have a survey. I don't even know how to do that. I don't think we can. Um,
it.
we can pretend. Everybody
We'll pretend.
show us thumbs. But I was in the house one night. My mom and dad had went down to my granny's because my granny, like I told everybody, she was sick, and we decided to stay at this house, me and my cousin. And we're in the back room, and to the back room is like a hallway, and it's got one room on the left, one room. So there was two on the left, two on the right, and a bathroom. And we're walking and playing around the house and everything. And he's like, "Hey, let's go play, the Nintendo. We got a new Nintendo." I was like, "Yeah, okay." So we go into the bedroom and we shut the door. And of course, I don't know why I even done it, but I locked the door. And whenever I locked the door, we were laying there. My mom and dad were gone. It had been raining that day. It's kind of one of those evenings to where it had rained all day, and sorry, I was reading that. And where it had rained all day. Oh, I didn't know that, Frida. Sorry, I'm reading it. But it had rained, and we were laying there playing. I remember the sun had came back out, and you could see the clouds and the colors of the clouds. And we're playing the game in the room. We hear something walking down the hallway, and we're like, somebody is in the house. And he's like, no, there's nobody here. And we're like, no, there's somebody in the house. So we turn off the Nintendo, and we pause it, and we're sitting there and we're listening, and we're like, what is going on? We start hearing the doors in the hallway start opening. And I asked my cousin, I'm like, you didn't see nobody pulling the driveway, right? And he's like, no, I didn't see nobody. So we're laying there and we start hearing like the doorknob on the door in the room we're in starts trying to turn. And we're like, oh my God, something's in the house. And we were freaked out because we thought this house was haunted anyways. So we're staying there and it's beating on the house, on the doors, and it's scratching on the doors. We're freaked out. We didn't want to go out into the hallway. So we take the dresser, we push the dresser against the door, kind of barricade ourselves in the bedroom. And then my cousin's like, we need to go to Granny's. We need to get out of here. And I'm like, how are we going to go to Granny's? We open the door. If it's out there, it's going to get us. And he's like, no, 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 no. Let's go out the window and we'll make a run for Granny's. Well, Granny's is like probably, half a mile from our house, probably down the old country road. So we jump out the window and we make it across the field, and then we go down to my granny's. Well, of course, we got in trouble. We weren't supposed to be leaving the house. They let us stay and everything. So that night, whenever we came back home with my mom and them, I was telling them, I said, there was something in the house. That's why we came to Granny's. We weren't out running around, messing around. We were scared. Back then, we didn't have cell phones or anything. So whenever we get back to the house, we're all getting ready to go to bed and everything. And Dad's going to bed. And as we're walking down the hallway, we notice in the door where me and my cousin was staying, there was a huge steak knife stuck in the door. And it was stuck like halfway into the door. It went plumb through like the inside of the old wooden doors.
Gosh.
Yeah, and we were like, what in the world done that? Now, I knew that house was haunted, but I don't know that day if it was a haunting or if it was somebody or, what it was. And I don't talk about it a lot because I don't know what it was. I just know that whatever it was opening the doors, shutting the doors, tried to get in our door, and sometime between us going to my granny's and coming back, it had stuck a knife through the door. And
Oh my gosh. That's super
yeah.
frightening.
Oh,
Oh.
the co-host is Kristi. But yeah, it was really, really.
Sorry, I'm kind of a half-assed co-host. I'm trying to learn.
No, I had
First,
things up, and
first,
I don't. They couldn't see your
what
name.
is this random girl on here?
Well, they can't see your name whenever I post things, so
Okay.
I was leaving stuff up.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead and let them know. Sorry. I'm doing my best.
Oh no, you're doing good. But I don't know what that was. A part of me, God, just to share with y'all, just a part of me, and my thought on it is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it was probably somebody. I don't think a
A per-
demon. I don't think a demon would have done that.
no, I don't think they would have physically left that knife. I think it's a person. Yeah, for sure. But a crazy person.
And the reason I would think that it was somebody, and man, this right here scared the hell out of me one night.
Oh no.
My dad was like,
You're
my
gonna be
dad was,
able to sleep later. Not even my stupid dog outside. Like,
it'll be waiting on you. No, my dad was like, Mike, they said it's Christy sitting under a window with bars. Yeah, I couldn't get her bail tonight, guys. So thank you for the county for letting her go live in her cell. No, not really.
no,
Not really.
actually, it's so funny. It's actually a really ugly painting, like thing that I have for myself. So yeah, that's actually literally look at that ugly painting. Everybody in my family tells me how ugly that is. So
I think it's I think it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm just an old country boy. Stuff like that. You know
well,
what we call a painting here.
behind bars though, so I will give the person credit. Now you're gonna make me have to go admit to my husband how ugly that is. Yes.
A painting to us is taking a family portrait and putting it over the hole in the wall where you forgot to take the bullet out of the gun when you was cleaning it.
Well, I'm behind bars and I have an ugly ass painting that everybody's gonna have to look at. So
We're gonna
I rid of this before the next call. I'm gonna have my husband take it down and replace it.
we're gonna start taking Patreon to get Christy out of jail. No.
Oh, look, everybody's gonna start giving me like decorating advice and be like, maybe you should change the color. I'm like, I know.
Oh,
And then we're all gonna give my husband extra like honeydew chores
yep.
to do. And he's gonna
That's
hate
it.
all the
Frida, thank you. Yeah, send that to me and we will figure it out. She has figured out how we can do a poll. So
Oh,
yeah, we
that's so cool, Frida. And by the way, Frida, if you can hear me, that's my great grandmother's name. You don't hear that very often. So yeah, Frida. Yep.
and they're telling you if you like it, Christy, to keep it up.
No, it's I know it's ugly. Everybody makes fun of it all the time when they come to my house. And now it just got made fun of more. But I appreciate your support. I'll mail it to somebody. Somebody on here, you want this? I'm going to mail it to you. Get it out of my house. So that I can't be made fun of. Yeah.
The knife. The knife actually came out of our kitchen. It was from our house. So, yeah. And then my dad was sitting in the front room one night. And back in when we were kids, the remote control was the kids. My dad would whistle and we run out of our bedroom and he's like, change the TV. Well, he hollered at me one night and he's like, hey, can you run out there in the garage? And our freezer was in the garage. We had a chest freezer out there. And he would say, hey, run out there and grab ice cream or something. So one night he had me run out there and get something. And when I went out there, they would pull their car into the garage and they had a big old LTD, is what they drove, big old Ford LTD. And they would pull it all the way up to the freezer so they could shut the garage door. Well, the garage door was left open that night. And I had to walk on the bumper of the car to get to the other side of the freezer. And when I walked over to the other side of the car, I raised up the freezer and I was getting the stuff I was supposed to be getting. And I remembered I was going to grab something else. So I shut the freezer and I spun around real fast. And when I did, there was a guy standing there in camouflage like he was about to grab me. And I yelled. Yeah. I yelled and jumped up on the car. And whenever I did, he started beating the car with his hands like he was trying to grab me. And I started screaming for my dad, and I ran and jumped inside, and we slammed the door and locked the door.
Oh, my gosh.
This one's for you here, Kristi. Next time you have weird stuff happen in your home, could you record and show us, please?
I will try to the best of my ability. Oh my gosh, Belinda. If you can hear, that was Kruger was my name, and you don't see very many Krugers. My grandparents were in Hanover, so that's so interesting that you said that.
Is your first name Freddie?
I used to get teased all the time about that. I bet you Belinda did too. But yeah, that's so interesting. I haven't seen other Krugers out and about. So, but yeah, I would love to start. I actually asked my husband, hey, can we get some, inside cameras? Can we start recording some of this stuff? Because it's gotten so crazy. We just moved my daughter away to college 2 days ago. Just got home. And her bedroom is the wall behind. And even tonight, I've heard her bathroom door shutting and her closet door shutting. But of course, she's not here. She's up in Mississippi. So I'm sitting here worried. Wow. So yeah. Man, it's just. But yes, Belinda. Sorry.
Well, maybe if you do have something in your house, and I'm not trying to scare you, but maybe it has familiarized itself with her, and you have a familiar spirit that's continuing to do her daily process.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm like, this work. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll be. Guess who I'll be calling when I hear it later and guess who I'll be keeping awake.
Glad to be of assistance.
But
here's your story.
Oh,
another scary encounter that I had.
Another way for me not to take my dog out to the.
Oh, you're gonna hate going outside after this one.
Oh no.
We went fishing one night, and whenever we would go fishing, we always have something comes up, and it will throw little twigs at the boys, little rocks. It will make baby crying noise. A lot of the people here have heard the baby crying noise that I caught. Just a lot of weird things. Thank you very much, Bobby Francis, for that. And anyways, we was fishing one night, and I had the truck parked a little ways from us, and my mom decides she's going to go up to the truck, and I think she was getting some bait, different kind of bait out of the back of the truck that we'd have. And I ended up walking up there where she was at. It's nighttime. You can't see anything. We're on the lake. It's really dark, and there's a tree on the other side of the truck. And my mom's standing there. And of course, I walk up and I'm blabbing at her, like I always do. I talk all the time. And I'm talking to her. And my mom's standing there and she looks at me and she goes, "Don't look real hard, but look across the truck in the fork of that tree." And I'm like, "Okay." So I look, and now remember, I've been over by the lake with the lanterns. My eyes are still trying to adjust to walking over where the light's dimmer, from the lanterns. And I look into the tree, and I'm like, "It's is that a frog?" Because I could see something green, and I could see something moving, but I couldn't tell what it was.
Oh,
And my eyes were adjusting. I kept looking, and my brother-in-law standing there, and I keep looking, and the next thing
no.
I know, it's a green. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a green face.
I'm
It
gonna
had
get
like
my blanket and
Yeah,
like
it had black spots on it,
no.
and you could see its eyes blinking while it was looking at us.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
standing there like just watching us, and my
Oh
mom's like,
no.
she's like, don't do anything, don't act like you see it, just ignore it. And I have my gun on, and we're standing there, and I'm like, wow, should I shoot it? Then I think, well, if I shoot it and there's more of them, or it don't kill it.
No.
So we
That
left, and after we left, I went back and I was like, I got to measure to see how tall this thing was, to the fork of the tree.
it had to be huge. Like that's what I was thinking. What's the size of this thing?
7'4".
Oh my goodness. No,
And it was
thank you. I'll be taking my dog out later. Like he'll be like peeing out in the yard and I'll be pissing my pants the whole time, like thinking something's out there. So good job,
but
Mike.
it was like it
Good
was
job.
trying to hide because its face was green. So it stuck its face in the tree
Like
in the greenery to watch you.
yeah, yeah.
And that wasn't the last time we ran into it.
Are you serious? Oh my.
Oh, I'll tell you in a little bit. Yeah. But I got something I want to ask you. I want to hear your dogman encounter.
It sounds crazy. That's why I only told you like on on a phone call. I didn't tell people in front of everybody. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like it's kind of embarrassing to like say out loud because it just sounds like it's insane. Um, I'm with you. I wish I never would have seen a dog man. I didn't even know what. So okay, so here's the actual story, and I didn't even know what I didn't know dog man was like a thing. Like I didn't know it was a thing. So I have a cemetery near my house. I live out in the county. Got to drive, to like a little bit just to get down to like the drugstore, supermarket, whatever it is. Sitting there driving, and I'm a weirdo. I actually like cemeteries. I like to walk around, look at the dates, stuff like that. I know that's really weird, but I kind of like doing that. If anybody's on my Facebook, you'll see I have a picture with Bob Ross, not with Bob Ross, with Bob Ross's tombstone, the guy who painted Pretty Birds, right? It's like I like that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm just like driving past this cemetery that I have to drive past every single day. And I look over and there's like this dog and it's tall and it's like I swear to God, it's walking on its back legs. And I was like, literally before I even knew, like, because I hadn't really been into like the cryptid stuff, right? Like I'd always, done the paranormal stuff. I wasn't into cryptid stuff. I swear to God, when I looked out that window, there was a dog walking on its hind legs, and it was big. It was going. And I looked over again, and I literally thought for a second, oh my gosh, I'm having a stroke. Like, this is how it ends. I literally thought that. And there it went through the graveyard. There it went. I mean, it's not like much of an encounter, because I didn't interact with it, but
Right.
I, right after that, I started Googling and like, I started searching my podcast for like walking dog or like whatever it was. And then I found out uh, about Dogman. And I was like, holy cow. I was like, that is super scary. So anyway, sorry, it's kind of a dumb story. Are you disappointed? Don't be
No,
disappointed.
no, actually,
It's
I think we learn more from the, what people think are dumb, but actually, they're the true stories are where we're going to learn more than you know
yeah.
the Sasquatch driving the spaceship.
Yeah, no, and that's true. But you would be shocked. I mean, I literally looking out that window and there it goes. And it was just going down the thing. And like I said, I didn't even know what Dogman was yet because I hadn't been in the cryptid world. I'd been in the paranormal world, which is, I think it's also paranormal, by the way. I don't know what it is. If anybody else has any other like ideas, let me know. But that thing, like that was really messed up. And I started researching and I was like, holy cow, that's a thing. Like it's a whole issue. I was like, whoa. I was like, I saw that dang thing. I was like, oh my gosh. So
And the person,
sorry.
just said, do I remember that night? Yeah, I was on the bridge doing an investigation, and I heard a little girl. It came across our video, said, "Can you find me?" And
Thanks,
did
Adam.
we did not hear it at the time, uh, but also I caught a picture that night of a little girl standing off the bridge by a tree that was a demon, and
Oh my
it was a
gosh.
pretty crazy night. Yeah, I'm not real into. I don't like finding those kind of things. But yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you do run across those things when you're out filming. And I think when you are out filming, these creatures or demons, they know that you're using electronics, and they take advantage of that, and they try to manifest and to show themselves, and it can get pretty scary.
Yeah, it was
But
weird. And Adam, thank you for posting like or your comment just now because I didn't realize dogmen or and then graveyards went hand in hands, like you just said, until I finally told somebody because I just knew everybody's gonna think I was crazy, and they told me the same thing, and I felt a little bit better.
did it have human legs? They want to know, or did it have dog legs in the cemetery?
Nope, it had dog legs. It looked
Dog
like a
legs.
dog. It looked like dog legs. Like it was just, but it was like a beast. Yeah.
Mr. The T. Let's see. Make sure I get this right. The T. Cutler. Yeah, I've caught a few good things. I haven't been out a lot. I am fixing to start going out a whole lot more on boots on the ground. I'm lone wolfing it, and the girls about have a heart attack every time I do it. Janice and Wendy.
I've actually let's have a conversation about it really quick, Mike. I don't think he needs to be out lone wolfing it. So I've threatened every time he goes out and goes lone wolfing that I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna roam around the city and like go around the lake by myself. So that's the deal, Mike.
Is that the deal?
Find yourself a like somebody out there in Oklahoma.
I'm going to call your husband and send him a whole box of duct tape.
Yeah, he thankful. Probably already has a whole toolbox full of it, like to get me
Probably
shut.
need. He probably needs it.
Oh my god. Yeah, no going out alone. Okay, go ahead. Like no going out alone, or I'm gonna walk around this lake out.
I know you was threatening me all night.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I
do
will. It's the
you?
only way to get you to stop because you're stubborn. You don't listen. So
I'm hard headed.
people shouldn't be going out alone, and you need to be telling our viewers that nobody needs to be going out alone looking for these things. Oh, you've got somebody. Somebody
Bobby
said, "I'll
Francis.
sometime." Thank you, Bobby. Somebody needs to be out there with
Yep.
him, unless
Um,
you want me out.
what one of my scariest times. What
Oh
scared
no.
me personally the most is the stupid. Oh yeah, Frida. I'll get into that too. I will tell the story. Um, Sleep paralysis. I've had that happen to me 3 times.
I have it weekly.
You do see, and that's what I wondered because when I had it, I felt like
It's
something was choking me.
it's horrible. I
It's
don't
very
know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hopefully Janice will tell me one day like why I'm so broken that I have to have sleep paralysis every week. But no, I get how you're saying it's scary.
It was very scary, and I hate those. I don't
Super.
know, I don't know what it is. Uh,
Mm-mm.
it's crazy. Now, this is what happened to me, Frida. I went out on an investigation. It's been a week or two now. And my whole idea that night was to be able to document. I found a camp that I thought was feral people. And it was the same night that I was supposed to do the live with Vic Kunda. I hope I said his name right. I probably butchered it. And I went out early and was trying to get some video footage, you know, of the feral people. And I did not have on my boots like I normally do. And anyways, I rolled my ankle pretty bad. It's black, swollen. I don't think you know about this. And they were around me. I could hear them talking and walking, and I was injured. And
God.
I knew there was no way for me to get out. I could not get out to anybody because where I was at, I didn't have any service. And I was able actually to get a text message out to Kirk, and I let him know kind of what was going on, and I was kind of in contact with him. Um,
No.
they were walking around me. They were talking. Luckily, where I was at, it was real brushy. I just laid there in my camo, my hunting camo, and I had my weapon, but I ended
Yeah.
up pretty much like hobbling out of there, and they didn't see me, thank God. And I'm better now. My ankle's better now. I am going to go back, but I'll wear my boots this time. It was just kind of a rush deal. I should have never rushed something like that. I should have been more prepared. Um, but it's lesson learned. I knew better. I know better, and I was trying to rush it, and
Oh.
I didn't have the proper attire for what I was going to do.
Or someone with you to remind you. And it looks like we have a friend named Bobby who's going to go with you. He's already offered. So therefore, that will be your assigned partner.
Just as I could have been someone's dinner.
You
Uh,
could
you
have
know,
freedom. Right. You could have been somebody's dinner.
and
Holy crap.
there is a possibility that anytime you go out like that, that you can you may not come back.
Oh my gosh.
And
Janice is here.
I, who?
Janice.
Oh yeah. And there's a chance
Oh,
you may not make
I
it.
didn't see you. I feel so much better right now. Okay. We
And
got
there's
Janice.
but I've
That's
accepted.
my
I accept it.
comfort. What
Yeah,
was that?
she's got your back. Oh, I was saying when you go out, there's a chance you may not come home, and I've accepted that. I mean, we know that when you go to the woods, that there's a possibility that something can happen, or you know, I just hope
Yeah.
that it gets a really bad sick stomach if it eats me. Now there was one night where that green faced creature, and I still believe it was him.
My gosh. No. That thing freaks
We
me
were
out.
fishing.
I will take my dog outside tonight, you guys, if you tell me this. All right. Earmuffs.
Well, we was fishing, and it come walking up the lake, and I was with my mom and my sister and my nephews,
No.
and it started walking toward us, and I did pull my weapon on it that night, and I told it to leave, and it started laughing. So we all loaded into the truck, and while we were leaving, we had to drive through the trees to get out. It ran up and hit the side of my truck and tried to open my driver's side door while we were leaving.
Oh
So
my
that was pretty.
gosh. Oh my god.
That was a
No.
crazy. That was a crazy night. Uh, you know,
Well, when the dog pees in the house tonight, you'll know why. I'm going to call you and tell you I couldn't take my dog out and it pissed everywhere. I'm scared now. Let's walk outside. I'm going to be staring at the lake. And I'm going to think, oh my God, this thing's coming at me. Like,
oh,
what's
here's a better one. We were staying
no,
at my granny's.
no, is this the new lakes? No, 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 no.
Oh no, we was at my granny's on this one, and I was laying in the bed that my mom normally slept in, which had an old water cooler in the window. And I'm laying there and I'm looking out the window, and you can see the uh, the yard light kind of coming in around the cracks of it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the light's gone. The light disappears. So you know something is standing in front of that, by you. And I'm laying there in the bed, like facing the water cooler, and it says my mom's name through the water cooler. Her name is Kay, and it's like Kay, but like an animal. And I went and told
No.
my mom, and she said it wasn't the first time that it's called anybody's name down there. It had called my granny's name one time. It was standing
Oh,
on the oh, it was standing on the sidewalk. My granny's sitting in her chair, looking out her front door. It's standing on her sidewalk out front, and it's
no.
making this motion, saying her name, telling her to come here.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nope. Now I'm definitely not taking this dog out tonight. He's just gonna have to have a. I'm gonna make one. Like, I don't even know. I cannot. I can't go outside now. So, thank you, Mike.
Yeah. It was.
Hide.
There was a lot of bad things happen down there. There was one night we would go out and sit. We had an old Mustang, and it was broke down, and we would go out and sit in it because the radio still worked, and the adults would stay in the house, and we would sit out there and visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something come crawling up out of the hog lot,
Oh my
and we could see
God.
it. It starts crawling around the car, and we're scared, and we don't know what's going on, and the next thing you know, we're sitting in the car, and it starts pulling on the door handles, trying to open our doors. We're outside by ourselves. The adults are in the house. We're hiding in this old car in the
Wait.
dark, in the driveway, by the hog pasture,
Oh.
and it's trying to get in the car. So my cousin, she looks out the window, and it looks right back in the window at her. You see,
No.
these pointed ears, big
I can't.
eyes, and all you can see is teeth.
Cancel.
And
Cancel.
she started screaming. She had a fit, and we ended up honking the horn on the car, and the adults came outside.
Oh
So
my goodness.
yeah, it was pretty bad. They're telling you that you need a doggy litter tray now.
I saw
That's funny.
Brett said, like, put a diaper on the dog, you'll be good to go. I'm with you. I need to go get dog diapers. I'm going outside tonight now. Not out here by myself. No.
If you do go outside, please put a GoPro on.
Nope.
That way, if something happens, at least I have some footage. Not really.
Oh, so rude. Janice, get after him. Rude.
Um,
You're gonna feel terrible tonight when I die by the lake. And
oh,
then
I'm not done sharing personal stories.
like brought up during my memorial that you wanted me to have a GoPro so you could have footage.
I'll send you one. Okay, here's a story I'll never forget till the day I die. This one's bad. We had a dog, and
no.
back when
Does this result in a dog dying? Because I love animals.
Not exactly.
Okay, maybe I can't hear this part.
Thank you, Janice. Janice said that's my charm. It's okay, Janice. It's not a full moon. You're safe tonight. I'm still in Oklahoma.
I love it.
We had this dog we bought, and it was I think it was like part shepherd, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like black and white, pretty dog. It's really pretty. And we were sleeping in the back bedroom. It's back whenever I was married, and I got up to go down the hallway to go to the kitchen. And when you went down the hallway, you'd walk past the bathroom, and then you had the kitchen, and then you had a bar, and then you had the front room. Well, I'm going to the restroom, and I look in the front room. And of course, it's nighttime, so it's quiet. I don't have no shoes on or nothing. I don't turn on any lights or anything because the kids are asleep. You're just sneaking through the house. And I look in the front room, the dog is walking on its hind legs around our front room. And I'm like,
Oh gosh.
I was like, that's weird. So I go back to the bedroom and I tell my wife at the time, I'm like, come here and look at this. So she walks in there and she sees it doing the same thing. And I'm like, there's something wrong with that dog. Well, the dog kept doing it, kept getting worse and worse and worse. So we had some neighbors and they always wanted the dog. So I was like, if y'all want the dog, you can have the dog. So I ended up giving the dog uh, to the neighbors. And then the weird thing was the neighbors, they start telling me, that dog is so weird. Every time we let it out, it runs to your back door and it just like stares at the door. Like they thought it was waiting on me or something, or my wife or something. And
Oh,
I thought that was really, really weird.
that is
Well,
really weird.
later on, he came over to the house. Oh, his dad came over to my house with his son. I gave it to the son, which his son was older. Dad was visiting their house, and he's like, "Hey, we had to get rid of that dog." And I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "It was walking around in our house, man, on its hind legs." And they said, "My dad said it was possessed." And they was like, "We had to get rid of it." And I said, "Really?" This, yeah, man,
Oh
we
my
took it to the lake and
god.
destroyed it. And I was like, "Man, I don't blame you if that thing, if it was done that." But I think it may not have just been the dog. And I haven't shared this. Y'all are going to hear some new information tonight. Some of my encounters. It'll be in the book I'm writing. Uh, After that happened in that same house, my wife would stay home at night. I had just started working. I was a young officer then, so I was having to work nights. And they always put you on the nights when you first start out.
Yeah.
And she would stay home by herself because she would work days. And well, she wouldn't stay at the house no more, and she started coming up to where I was working because she was hearing screaming in the house. And I was like, "Are you sure you're really like hearing screaming in the house?" And she's like, "Yeah." Well, on my
Well,
days off, I would, we would go to bed. We got up, and the teddy bears in the bedroom would be brought to the front room. And I was like, "What in the world is going on?" Because the kids were not old enough at the time to be up
to
doing
be
that. They were still babies.
under.
And every time we would put the teddy bears up, get up the next morning, they were in different places in the front room.
Oh my goodness.
So
That
I was,
everybody, how is that? Seriously.
do what?
I was telling everybody, I was like, how creepy is that? That there's like stuffed teddy bears in a
It was,
different place. Like, oh, that for whatever reason, dolls and like teddy bears moving around freaks me out.
oh, and and she told me she was hearing screaming, and I was like, maybe she's hearing something outside. But when the teddy
Yeah.
bears, the teddy bears started happening, and I was
Oh
seeing
no.
it, and I was like, what in the
No,
world? You know? Oh, it gets
not to.
worse. It gets
Mm-mm.
way worse. Uh,
Oh,
One of my buddies I was working with, which was it was my sergeant at the time. I was just an officer. I was telling him that my dad had bought me a large picture of Jesus, and it's got cherubs around it. And my dad was a carpenter also, and he built a huge, beautiful frame, and he framed it for me. And I hung it in my house, and I was in the picture. It's huge, but the picture, if you get a magnifying glass and you
mm-hmm.
put it up to the picture, it's the whole New Testament of the Bible that makes
Oh,
this picture.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I had it hanging in my front room, and I told one of my buddies about it, the sergeant, and he's like, "Hey man, take a picture of it, bring it to me. I'd like to see it." I was like, "All right." So I was heading out the door one day, and I grab my camera and I take a picture of the picture. Go to work. I take my cell phone, I lay it there, and I'm like, "There it is. Check it out." And I'm signing into work and everything, and he slides the phone back to me, and he goes, "Don't ever show me that effing thing again." And I said, "What?" It's a picture of Jesus, what my dad made for me. And he goes, "That ain't."
What was
So I
it?
looked at
What?
my phone because I hadn't looked at it. It was a demon. There was an old man standing in front of the picture when I took the picture. and you could see through him, but you could see him, and then the picture of Jesus. So I went back to the trailer, and of course, my wife is staying, at my work now. She won't stay home, and we start talking to the guy. We're in a trailer. We start talking to the guy that runs it, and I'm like, okay, who lived in that trailer before we bought it, and everything. So I show him a picture of the picture I took, and he goes, oh my God. And he's an old man. He's like 80 years old. He's like, oh my God. And he keeps saying that. And I'm like, what, dude? He's like, that's the dude that died in there. And I said, what? He said,
No.
that is the dude that died in that house. And I said, he died in that house? He goes, him and his wife both died in that house.
Oh my gosh.
I said, where did they die? He said they died in the room, toward the road. That's the room we had the teddy bears in.
Oh my.
They both died in there.
No, seriously, you're freaking me out.
It gets worse.
The dog. No. Yeah. I'm gonna out with me as I go dog out because I'm gonna be so scared. Please.
Yeah.
What happens next? Go ahead, just get it out.
It's bad.
Oh.
I'm walking down the hallway one night.
No.
And while I'm walking down the hallway, I hear a lady in the bathroom, like an elderly lady, go, help. And I look in there, there's nobody in there. So I was like, what in the world? Then the next day, and this is so weird, guys. This is honest to God truth. I went to work, and she said, I think I'll stay home today because I got lucky and I was getting to work the day shift. I put in for overtime. She's like, it's daytime, I'll be fine. I'll stay home. So I went to work, and I only worked about 20 minutes from home. And I call her at noon, to check on her to make sure she's okay and everything, and she doesn't answer. So I call her again. She doesn't answer, and it's not like her not to answer. So I tell my Sarge about it, and he's like, hey, run home, check on her, it's cool, don't worry about it, because it wasn't out of our, our jurisdiction where it was at. I was like, okay. So I pull in the driveway, and her car is there, and I run up to the door, and when I get to the door is, of course, locked, so I unlock the door, and I go inside, and as soon as I open the door, I smell nothing but natural gas. It is so strong. My wife is laying on the couch, unresponsive. So I finally got her awake, got her outside. Something had turned our stove on in the kitchen and was gassing her. Yeah.
She didn't. I thought you were going to tell me this was like a suicide. So she didn't do it.
It was trying to kill her.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it turned on the gas. And then it was like, it was bad. Well, my dad was helping me fix the house, and we was tearing out the bedroom. My dad was a carpenter. And when we tore out the bedroom, we found a wooden box. And whenever we got to looking in the wooden box that we found,
that is so scary.
We found child pictures that should not have been there. Ew. So that guy was probably into some bad things. It caused a lot of the problems in the house.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Valerie. Mike, what in McCurtain County Game Preserve that has silvery reflecting eyes that are 3 inches wide? Eyes are 3 inches apart from each other. These things surround our camp, so we left. Wow, I have no idea. Thank you very much, Valerie. Do you camp there a lot, Valerie, or was you on vacation? Or that's very interesting.
That is.
But yeah, it tried to kill her. And the man and lady both they did die inside that house.
Oh man.
And guess what?
It's all scary and creepy.
Guess what?
What? Oh, me.
This is the house
That you're in now?
My dad was a carpenter, like I told you. He bought the trailer from me and moved it out here in the country. And he turned the trailer now is into a house. He turned it into a house. It's a huge house now. But he incorporated it into the house.
Yeah. My parents had a house like that. Yeah, I get it. But that's hey, sorry. Can I yell at my son really quick?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Zeb, will you shut the door for me, please? So the dog gets out of here. Sorry, guys. That's not professional. Sorry. I just have kids running in and out because it's the weekend. And
It kind of sounds to me like you might be using him for bait.
yeah, maybe I'm. Yeah. Take the dog out while I peek through the curtain and see. Right. Scared.
The people are asking how did they die. The way they died is the husband and the wife went to bed in their pajamas and they turned on the natural gas and went to sleep.
Oh my gosh, Mike, are you serious?
Yeah. So.
Oh, God.
Anybody want to come stay the night?
So they committed suicide in that house, like through gas, like for carbon, like monoxide poison or whatever it is. But oh my gosh! And then they were trying to do that to the. Oh man.
Yeah, that stuff's real. Yeah. That's why I don't deal with it a whole lot. That stuff is really just, I've been in it. I've dealt with it. It's just something that I'm afraid to deal with. My wife one night had rolled over and stuck her hand off the bed one night, and something grabbed her hand and was holding her hand, and she thought it was me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was driving my daughter around one night, my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
And we were just driving the country roads. I do that a lot out here when I get bored. I just go drive the country roads. And
I just listen to music and just drive.
Yeah. And it's peaceful out here because nobody lives around me. So you're the only one out here driving around at night. And I was like, that's, it's just relaxing. She looks out the window and she starts screaming and crying uncontrollably. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she couldn't even talk. I get her to town finally where the lights are at, and I drive to the park, and she's like, Dad, I saw the devil. And I said, what? She said he was standing by the telephone pole waving at me when I turned at the intersection in the dark. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
How old was she at this time? This is scary.
Probably 10.
Oh, old enough to know what she's seeing too. It's not like it's a 2-year-old. Like, oh my God. Not the 2-year-olds can't see stuff like that, but she was able to say it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is
so
okay. Well, officially, dog's gonna have to pee in the house. It'll be fine. It's gonna get diapers. Yeah.
So there's one story left about this house.
No. Stop it.
It's the house and the land that we're on.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So I was in school, in elementary school. I was in the 5th grade. We had a janitor that used to take care of the school. Really nice guy. He was a cowboy. Yeah. He wore a big black cowboy hat.
Yeah.
We all called him Cowboy. Really friendly guy. We always talked to him. They own this property that we're on, okay? Well, we bought the property from his dad. So we moved my trailer out here. I live on the same property as my mom. And we have a bunch of land here, and I live on part of the land.
Okay.
And we moved out here, and my son and my youngest son both come running in the front room having a fit. And they're like, Dad, there's a man in the hallway. And I'm like, what? And we had just moved out here. And they're young. They're just little. And I jumped up, and I ran to the hallway, and they're like, there's a man and a dog in the hallway.
And my blanket again.
There was there was nobody, in the hallway. I looked around, Well, they would get up, and they would tell me, Dad, the man in the hallway keeps pointing his finger at us at nighttime, telling us to go back to the room. Now, he wasn't talking, He was just motioning, go to the room. And they said his dog tries to bite us. And I said, what? Well, I said, what does he look like? And they said, Dad, he wears a black cowboy hat. Our janitor killed himself here. He committed suicide on this property. They never knew him. We never talked about him.
He killed himself in your house?
On the property, yeah, on
On
the
the,
back of the property.
oh my God.
He shot himself. He found
Oh,
out that he had a terminal disease and he took his life. And
oh, oh my gosh.
they described him and
I,
his dog.
sorry for acting like that. I know that I keep forgetting I'm on camera and I get my blood react. That's horrible. Like I felt, well, one, I'm praying for his soul. I am praying for his, but the fact that they didn't know that and they saw him.
They described him to a T, him and his dog.
Oh,
It was a
good.
Callahooly dog, and they described the dog with the spots, and they said he had a big black cowboy hat on and everything. But they always said he was really angry.
Well, I'm sure his soul is not at rest. I mean, but sorry, that was just a surprising story and like a little scary at the end. Do you still see him? Or do they still see him?
Well, I was outside the other day.
Oh no. Oh no. I can tell by your smirk that you've seen this thing.
You hate my smirk. Saw a man walking in the field. I don't know if it was him or not, but when we went down there to see who was on Mom's property, there wasn't nobody there.
Well, that is scary. I'm sure our users know, or like, oh my gosh, I'm sure all the listeners are like super scared right now, I would
You
think.
know, I was on a live one night, right? And my sisters have been going out with me investigating. And my mom comes up there and she yells at me and she says, Mike, come here, come here. And this is during the live. So I know it's important if my mom yells at me. So I run down here and she's like, look outside. My mom has a parking meter that we keep, like the old time ones that take the coins,
Yeah. Yep.
and it's like and we're into antiques. And whenever I run down here, and we had just been out spook hunting, so something followed us home that night, and it took like a chicken and turned it wrong side out and hung it over the parking meter,
Holy crap.
and was making really weird noises out here. Yeah. Want to come to Oklahoma?
No, now I'm I have to like, wipe up dog pee because I'm not.
Wandering around that homeless camp might be safer.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
Goodness.
here.
Oh my goodness
Thank
gracious.
you, Valerie. It was Halloween night 2021 first, and the last time there, I had overwhelming dread that was intensifying before we saw anything. We left out of the camp at 8:30 p.m. I don't blame you. I would leave too. I'll go ahead and share something with you guys that I'm going to be doing this year for the channel. I haven't shared this even with my team. I'll be doing a solo overnight camp trip down at this circle place. I'll be out overnight.
Yeah.
Um,
You?
yeah,
This is ridiculous. Do not
we're gonna
do that by your bring one of your friends. Like somebody.
Well, I don't have a lot that I could take because I'm real picky on who knows my locations just for investigative purposes.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I'll probably get some good footage down there. I'm gonna fry some bacon, and I mean, if somebody that's like slower runner than me wants to go, they can go.
Shove them aside. Like let them be.
Yeah, I will be alone, Donald Klein. Yeah, I am going to camp alone. It'll be a solo camp.
Somebody
Uh,
somebody please try to talk to him right now and tell him
I don't
it's
think
cool to go do that but not be alone.
I don't think anything's going to
Please.
hurt me because once I go to sleep, the way I snore, they're going to think it's like a pack of werewolves down there,
No,
anyways.
I tell you with me. listen, somebody help me out here and tell him it's not safe to be alone. Do you want me out there alone? I'm like, I'm going to go camping alone. Like, no, you're not allowed. You're canceled. Somebody needs to go with you.
Mark, a lot of prayers. Sharon, you sound a lot
And
like my mom. My mom says that a lot.
thank
My mom and Kristi now say that a lot. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I ain't gonna be able to share much more though, or I'm not going to have a book to write.
you. Want
There's not going to be any surprises. Uh, do you have any stories that you're wanting to share tonight? Or is there any more?
Well, I shared like 2 big ones the last 5, so I'm probably not that interesting anymore at this point for you all. Except that I'm mad that you're going to be out going camping alone because I don't think it's safe and it's not setting a good example. So you better bring somebody with you. Yeah. So I guess that's that. It's 11 o'clock too. I didn't realize how long I'd been up here
Yeah.
blabbering. So sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Do you don't have anything anymore you want to share tonight? Reason I was asking, I was going to start wrapping it up if you're done.
Yeah. You go ahead and wrap it up. Like I'll save them. My story, or well, I do have stories, but it's going to take hours and it's already 11 o'clock. We can't do that. Let's do it next time. We'll just keep going. It'll be all right if you let me keep coming on.
All right, sounds good.
Stories that roll out. And then I'm also going to make sure that everybody like harasses you about going by yourself and that they help me join in on, hey, you have to be safe and you better not be out there by yourself. So in the middle of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah, I like Oklahoma. I'm an Oklahoman. If you can't tell by the accent, everybody says I have a strong accent. I don't notice it. But
Oh my God, that's so funny. It says take an elephant gun just in case. Yes, Linda. He should be taking an elephant gun.
oh wow,
I would totally love if somebody lived near me in Florida and came and take this dog out. I'll tell you
I could
that.
I could only do it on a full moon night. That's the only night I can move fast.
Thank you,
Not
Sharon.
really, not really. Don't think I'm some kind of werewolf.
Okay.
But all right, guys, we kept y'all late tonight. I appreciate each and every one of y'all showing up tonight, though, and hanging out with us. I thought we would do a little night tonight, to kind of share some
It's fun.
encounters with you guys, and
I thought,
just kind of, yeah, just have a fun, relaxing night. She's new. She's co-hosting. I thought it would be an easy night for her, not to have a subject that we was going to stick by, and I wanted to make it easy for you tonight. You done an awesome
no,
job. Thank you for coming in and stepping in.
you're super nice, and I'm thankful for all of our listeners and like people being like supportive and nice. Yeah, I'm not like I said in the earlier episodes, I am not doing that. This is not my profession. I'm not a journalist. I'm not anybody fancy who knows how to do this. I'm just here hanging out, talking with you all. So I'm so sorry.
No.
Sorry.
That's what we do. That's what we do. I'm definitely no journalist, so you have a lot to add. You have a lot of experience, and I think once you get comfortable,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a lot to add, and you do have a lot of information. You've done a lot of research, and I think you're gonna do okay. And we'll
Yeah.
start getting
I'm
deeper and deeper.
just being a researcher, doing that for podcasts, but not for being on a screen. And I'm naturally super self-conscious, so it's really weird for me, out of my comfort zone. So we're good.
Well, I think you done a really good night tonight. And guys, we're gonna get off here until next time. And maybe I'm having a procedure done the 15th, so if you don't see me on, it'll be because I'm going to be down for a little while. I do have videos set that's going to pre-drop that should keep you all busy. I've been doing a lot of extra work, so you all have videos that's going to pre-drop. But if I am out of touch for a little while, or I kind of go recluse when I have those things happen. I kind of go to my own little shelter, and but there will be videos coming out, and hopefully I'll heal fast, and we'll be back at it. And I just appreciate all the support from all you guys that show up. And we had a really big night tonight. It was over 200 almost all night. So I appreciate that, guys. And until next time, don't let something eat you, and keep your head on a swivel. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm getting rid of my ugly artwork that came from I'll get rid of that since I got some hates. All right, I'll talk to you.
All right, good night.
Good night, guys and ladies.